Hello. On February 21, we commemorate International Mother Language Day to promote awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity and to promote multilingualism. Because our language contributes to shaping our identity, is part of our culture, of who we are, and especially because it influences access to health services, we have invited the Honourable Senator René Cormier to say a few words on this topic. Senator Cormier joined the Senate of Canada on November 15, 2016, as an independent senator from New Brunswick. A man of action dedicated to citizen approach aimed at the development of Acadian and francophone community in New Brunswick, Senator Cormier has a long professional track record in the field of arts and culture. Recognized for his integrity, his professional ethics, and his qualities as a unifier and motivator, he has endeavored over nearly 40 years to ensure better integration of the arts and culture in all spheres of Acadian and Canadian society. Senator Cormier, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The importance of recognizing one's language is clear for an organization like Société Santé en Français, since we work to improve access to health services for francophone communities living in a minority setting. We're very pleased to have this opportunity to speak with you today about your experience as a senator, but also as a very active member of your community. Thank you for taking some time.
My pleasure.
First, how do you see the role of language, and particularly the mother tongue, in the development of an individual? How do you think your language shaped your journey and your development to create the individual that you are today?
Well, thank you for the question. Before answering it, allow me to speak about the importance of mother tongues in Canada beyond our two official languages. Antoine, did you know that in Canada, more than 130 languages other than French, English, or one of the 60 indigenous languages are listed by Canadians as their mother tongue? In 2016, this represented over 22% of the Canadian population whose mother tongue was a language other than English, French, or one of the indigenous languages. My colleague, Senator Mobino Jaffer, introduced in the Senate Bill S-214, which was passed on December 9, 2021, designating February 21 as International Mother Language Day. This bill is currently in the House of Commons, which completed its first reading on December 14, 2021. In November 1999, the General Conference of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization proclaimed International Mother Language Day. And in that context, the UN had made the following statement, and I will quote it. Languages are the most powerful instruments of preserving and developing our tangible and intangible heritage. All moves to promote the dissemination of mother tongues will serve not only to encourage linguistic diversity and multilingual education, but also to develop fuller awareness of linguistic and cultural traditions throughout the world and to inspire solidarity based on understanding, tolerance, and dialogue, end of quote. In Canada, we know French is indeed a mother tongue, as is English, and these two languages surely have an impact on the development of an individual and his or her identity, on the way he or she sees the world, expresses ideas, imagines concepts, and creates artistic works. That said, English and French are also second languages for many Canadians. And their relationship with these two official languages may be different from those for whom it is their first language. One thing is clear, for me, French language has been a determining factor in my personal and professional development. I come from a French-speaking Acadian community in New Brunswick where language, culture, and identity were and still are intimately linked. I attended French educational and cultural institutions, which led me to live and work in Acadie, Quebec, in French-speaking communities elsewhere in Canada, in France, in Belgium, and in French-speaking countries in Africa. So prior to my appointment to the Senate of Canada, my personal and professional networks were essentially Francophone. My work as an artist and cultural worker has been done mainly in French and has been oriented towards the defense and promotion of the Acadian and Francophone cultures in this country. So today, I am who I am because I have grown up studied, worked, loved, cried, and celebrated in French throughout my life. And when I needed medical care, fortunately for me, I obtained it essentially in French.
Thank you, Mr. Senator. Has living in a minority situation, linguistically and culturally, how has it had an impact on your political involvement, on your accomplishments? In your opinion, what influence does the minority context have on the development of a community's identity?
Well, living in a minority situation has an influence on my whole political involvement and professional accomplishments, mainly because, as I said before, language, culture, and identity are intimately linked for me, but also because the minority context in which I grew up and worked awakened me to the inequalities and injustices experienced by minorities, whatever they may be in our country. I come from a family of social workers, passionate about history, culture, and education. And at home, we learned we were Acadians even before we could walk, if I may say so. In my community, the preservation, promotion, and celebration of our language and culture have been instrumental in shaping a strong identity and really guiding its development. The sense of pride that was instilled in us by our parents, teachers, and spiritual guides was a real driving force. For many of us today, this has instilled a real desire to get involved and to take concrete action. So today, our infrastructures, activities, touristic initiative, artistic works, and cultural actions are anchored in this reality.
People often make a link between language and how it shapes one's identity. In your opinion, how does building a solid Francophone identity help strengthen the vitality of Francophone communities across the country?
Well, I will answer this question by repeating, in a way, what I said in response to the previous question. This might be obvious, but the stronger the identity of a group of citizens is, well, the stronger their community will be. At the heart of our language minority communities, there are individuals from all sectors whose motivation to act is based on their identity. That said, we must recognize that a community's identity is plural and diverse. For example, the expression of identity by youngsters today often varies greatly from that of people of my generation, for example. So there's not just one identity. Both in individuals and in communities, there are several identities that coexist, dialogue, and participate in defining and building their community. And those identities are in constant transformation. The more we recognize that, the more our communities will be strong, vibrant, and attractive.
Culture is a big factor recognized as exerting a decisive influence on the individual and the collective health. And by that, we mean that belonging to a minority community often adds or is a challenge in itself to accessing health and wellness services. In your experience in the Senate, what role do you think the Senate could play to reduce language-related health inequalities in Canada and increase, and how can the Senate help to increase access to services in French, health included, across the country?
Well, first, I will say that our mandate as senators is to represent minorities and regions. It's part of our DNA. So the role we can play as legislators in the Senate is to ensure that the government truly considers the reality and needs of language minority communities concerning health. In this regard, we are watchdogs in a way, and we can, through legislation, studies, speeches, and representation, bring forward healthcare needs. On a short-term basis, I can say that we will continue working on the modernization of the Official Languages Act, and we will make sure that the government's commitment to invest $22.5 million in the health sector outlined in the Action Plan of for Official Languages 2018-2023 will be there for the health sector. And I can also add that in the final report produced by the Senate Standing Committee on Official Languages on the modernization of the Official Languages Act, the health sector is clearly identified as a strategic sector for language minority communities. And as you know, it was included in Bill C-32. We hope now that it will be included in the new bill.
Thank you, Senator. Now I'm going to flip the script on you and turn the questions back to you. We know World Mother Language Day is coming up soon. Do you have any other comments or messages that you'd wish to share with members of minority communities across the country?
Thank you for that question. In answer to this question, I would say that Canada has evolved a great deal over the past 153 years. It has transformed itself, welcomed and continues to welcome a multitude of cultures that enrich our country. And all Canadians should be able in Canada to celebrate their cultures of origin. And this includes the ability to celebrate one's so-called mother tongue or first language, if you will. That said, the recognition and promotion of mother tongues, Indigenous languages, and plurilingualism in Canada must not compete against the fundamental principle of recognizing our two official languages as a social contract in our country. Canada has adopted two official languages, English and French. It's part of its fabric. So let's make sure that these two languages, which are meant to be unifying and inclusive, can be learned and appreciated by all Canadians. And I will conclude by thanking all those healthcare workers who are currently working with determination and commitment so that all citizens in this country can be born, live, and die in the official language of their choice. The current pandemic has shown us the fragility of our Canadian healthcare system. And it is my fervent wish that all those who work in or use our healthcare system will be able to do so in either official language. Thank you.
Senator Cormier, thank you so much for taking some of your time today. You are a very busy person. Thank you so much for sharing your views on languages in Canada, views I find welcoming, engaging, and inspiring. Thank you so much, Senator Cormier, and I wish you a good day.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to la Société Santé en Français for all the work you're doing for Canadians. Thank you.